For the other half of my double feature here tonight, I'm going to talk about Cop Out, which I finally got around to seeing. I've been interested about it ever since I heard about it. I was following Kevin Smith on Twitter, like back when it was, I think it was called A Couple of Dicks, and this is the Kevin Smith movie that everyone explains it as he directed it, but he didn't write it. He was adapting someone else's script, which most directors do, but usually the ones that write and direct their own stuff, they don't do other people's stuff. Like you don't see Woody Allen doing someone else's stuff or whoever. I don't know why Woody Allen popped in my mind because I've never seen a Woody Allen movie. I know, shame on me. But anyways, it's like a buddy cop comedy about well, who cares what it's about? We'll get to that in a second. But it's like it's trying to be like a throwback to like the '80s cop movies, like Lethal Weapon. No, nowhere, God, nowhere near as close as good as Lethal Weapon, or even it doesn't even have the same tone. But it's going for like Lethal Weapon, 48 Hours. It's trying to remind you of those movies, and it does so in a lot of ways with the soundtrack, which is mostly '80s music. There's like one '70s song, I think. It's like 80, like it starts off with like No Sleep Till Brooklyn, but then most of the score, like the original music, is it's like that synthesizer '80s stuff. It kind of sort of reminds you of the Beverly Hills Cop theme, but it's nowhere near as good. That could be like the tagline for this movie: nowhere near as good as anything that's like inspired by or that the people in it have done before. Nowhere near as good. I'm really sorry too. Like I know like Kevin Smith watches what his fans say, and it seemed like he took it personally a little bit when people didn't like Cop Out. Like it got a lot of bad reviews, and he got defensive about it because he interacts with people, and who wouldn't? Like if you got thousands of people telling you that your movie sucks, you'd be like, "Fuck you, man." You know, I made money off of it, and fuck you. So, but like, don't get me wrong, man. I love Kevin Smith. I don't know him personally, but he's just like seems like a really cool guy. I love watching his Evening with Kevin Smith DVDs and his like all of his movies. I'll go into his movies really quickly right now. I should probably do videos on all his movies because I can almost recite them all by heart. That's how much I love his movies. Like he's done Clerks, which I really loved when I first saw it when I was a kid. He followed up with Mallrats, which also got knocked by critics and shit, and he ended up apologizing for it. But I think he's taken that back because people have grown to love Mallrats, and I love Mallrats. He did a really small budget movie after that, Chasing Amy, which was really fucking good. Most people would say it's like his best movie. I wouldn't, but it's a great movie. He did Dogma with like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, where they're the angels, which is a movie I think he was like working on since forever, like when he was like a teenager. And it kind of showed it had its problems, but overall it was for like a comedy. It made you think about like religion and spirituality. He followed that with I think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which I saw when I was in college with my buddies, and that was so awesome. It was a great movie. I'm sorry to get off on like a tangent here, but I just feel like talking about Kevin Smith a bit because there's not much to say about Cop Out. To be honest, it sucks. Then Kevin Smith did, I think after Jay and Silent Bob, I think he did that one movie with Ben Affleck. The name is Jersey Girl. It was slipping my mind there for a second. It's Jersey Girl. I've never seen Jersey Girl. I'm not gonna trash it or judge it, but a lot of people didn't like it. Probably because he was trying something different and more personal. Or I don't know, maybe it sucked. I have never seen it. Um, and then I don't know which one came first. Maybe Jersey Girl came after, but I thought after Jersey Girl he did Clerks 2, which is a movie that I love. I hold it near and dear to my heart. Really, really loved Clerks 2. I think it's his best movie by far. And like honestly, man, that movie is just a great movie. I think I put it in my like top 10 movies of the decade. And I didn't do a top 10 movies of the decade. I did a top 100 movies of the decade, and it was like number 6. So that gives you an idea of how much I respect Kevin Smith. And you know what? He's like always been like an inspiration to me. Like this is a guy that was in his 20s working at a convenience store, and he wrote his own script, and he said, "Fuck it." He got a bunch of credit cards, and he made his own movie. And by luck and by perseverance and everything, he made it. So I love Kevin Smith, and like he could stop doing movies and just do his like stand up shit, basically like his college tours, and that keep releasing DVDs of that, and I'd love it. But he tried to do something different here. He took a crack at trying someone else's work and saying, "Hey, I'm a director. This is what I've been doing my whole career. I don't have to just do my own little, projects that this little niche group will like. Let me see if I could do like a comedy that's more broader, and it's not my stuff. Let's see how it is, right?" And plus, it's a paycheck. I'm sure he's probably honest enough to say that too. It's also a paycheck. But God, I mean, everything in this movie just goes wrong. Like I said at the top, it's like a cop comedy. Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan, awesome pairing there. I say that sarcastically because they don't have a lot of chemistry together. It's like they try, but you could tell like they don't really, they just don't work together. And it's great to see Bruce in anything. I don't give a shit. Bruce Willis is awesome too. I could go into Bruce Willis now for 20 minutes if you want, but the problem, one of the big problems is his co-star Tracy Morgan, which if you like Tracy Morgan, there's a chance you like this movie a little bit more, but probably not. But to me, Tracy Morgan is one of the most abrasive, obnoxious, loudmouth, annoying personalities ever. I like some of the stuff he did on SNL. I haven't watched 30 Rock, so I can't comment on that. But from what I gather, it's just him being himself. So like the joke is he's an idiot. Um, but he's just awful in this. I didn't buy him as a cop. Nothing he does is funny as at all, at all. And he just can't act against another person. He's just too busy being Tracy Morgan. It's like there's no interaction with Bruce really. There is, but it's just like there's something so phony and just annoying about him. Let me know what you think about Tracy Morgan. But you know what? He might be the movie's like biggest problem. It is a bad casting choice. I would have had any other actor, black or white or brown or yellow or purple, but Tracy Morgan, man. I just kept thinking like, you know, I would like. I was gonna say Chris Rock, but I would like to see Denzel play off of him and like Denzel spoof his cop image. Could you see that? Like Denzel and Bruce trying to spoof their cop movies and shit. Like that would have been cool. But Tracy Morgan, he doesn't feel like a cop. He barely feels like a human being. Not to get too like negative here, but God, he was so bad. And this the story is just ludicrous. It's like they get suspended without pay, but Bruce Willis can't deal with that because they get suspended for being idiots and causing trouble. But Bruce Willis needs money because his daughter's wedding's coming up, and he doesn't want his ex's husband paying for it all, making him look like a douche to his daughter. So he like goes to sell his like this old baseball card, and I feel like an idiot now. I don't remember the baseball player's name, but he goes to sell like this old baseball card that's worth a lot of money, and which first of all it's like worth like $50,000, and he goes to take it to like a comic book shop or something. Like they're gonna have $50,000 or like a check they're gonna cut him. I don't know if that maybe that's how it works, but I doubt it. He'd be lucky to get like a couple thousand from a fucking little shop. While he's there, he gets robbed, and they take his card, and so the rest of the movie is them trying to like track down the card, which lands in the hands of like a Mexican drug gang lord, played by I want to say his name was Guillermo Diaz, who is from everyone calls him like the guy from Half Baked, but he's able to do like the like a real criminal shit. Like he was in like an episode or two of The Shield, and he played an important character. I think he played this guy named Garza. But anyways, it falls in the hand of this gangster, and the gangster is like a memorabilia freak, and he has like a little memorabilia shrine, and they're trying to get it back from him. Like, tell me that's not one of the stupidest plots you've ever heard. Is two cops trying to track down the one cop's baseball card so he could sell it to pay for his daughter's wedding. But even with a stupid plot like that, you can make it work. But the jokes in here are just not funny. Nothing is funny. It's like some of the stuff is mildly amusing. Like some of the stuff is kind of funny, but it won't make you laugh. I didn't laugh at all. And then when you have Tracy Morgan delivering half the humor, and Bruce Willis looking like he's having fun, but he's basically sleepwalking through it, it's like it doesn't help. You know, the script doesn't serve the actors much, but the actors aren't serving the script much, especially not Tracy Morgan. Like you have like like Bruce Willis is, or Tracy Morgan's gonna boost Bruce Willis up through a window, and Bruce Willis is standing on his shoulders, and he steps on Tracy Morgan's head, and Tracy Morgan's like, "You stepped on my forehead! You stepped on my forehead, Jim!" What the fuck is so funny about that? Because he talks like an idiot? He talks like an idiot and makes a stupid face? So you have like bad acting, unfunny jokes, a corny plot. Like, what does the movie have going for it? It has nothing going for it. It's bottom of the barrel. I mean, there's two good things I could say about Cop Out, which is there's three good things, but one of them is completely removed from the movie. Um, the music I liked. It did give that movie the flavor of an old '80s movie. I want to look up who like did the score and see if they did some of those old '80s movies because it sounds like it's like the synthesizer. I can't think of exactly how it goes now. I just have the Beverly Hills Cop theme playing in my head, but that's good. Um, Kevin Smith continues to improve as a director, both a director and editor. It's probably like one of his more polished movies, even though it's like a polished piece of shit. And I guess the movie made enough money that like the studios are giving Kevin Smith money to do more movies that are his own. So that's the best result of Cop Out. But and you know you could feel some of Kevin Smith's touches on the movie. Like there's turd jokes. Jason Lee has kind of a good like cameo role, kind of, and you could feel his hands on the movie a little bit, but not really. And I kind of wish more like when they were filming it, maybe like I know Kevin Smith is a guy that like his own scripts he sticks to them word by word. I think for the most part, from what I've heard, I think that's at least what he said. And I think maybe he respected the script that he was directing a little too much instead of letting the scenes be as funny as they could be while he was filming it. I know I have friends that say, "Well, he didn't write it, so it's not his fault." It's like, dude, he's the director. If you're shooting it and you're like, "Well, this line of dialogue sure the fuck doesn't work," like when I'm filming it, I'm sure he could have came up with something funnier on the spot, and I don't think he did it enough. The movie's tonally like all over the place. Like it's trying to be funny, but the violence is kind of hardcore, and like the gangster like guy is goofy, but like he tortures people and shoots people, and it doesn't help at all that the plot is so uninteresting you couldn't care about it less. Like not only is Cop Out probably like the Cop Out is the most disappointing movie I've seen all year, but it's probably one of the worst movies I've seen all year. Definitely the worst comedy. I'm giving it 1 star out of 5. And I'm sorry, Kevin Smith. I'm still a fan, but and you know I know you got a lot of shit for this, but and I know you won't watch this video, but still, it did suck, and it's too bad.